The massive upward move in Bitcoin is largely down to Elon Musk, the CEO and founder of Tesla. It was a big announcement was made only a few days ago that the well-known electric vehicle manufacturer has invested $1.5 billion in the cryptocurrency. So not only does that send out a very positive message that the company is making a sizable investment in a digital currency, where there are many in mainstream business that are quite still skeptical of cryptocurrencies. But on top of that, Tesla have also stated they're going to allow Bitcoin, they're going to accept Bitcoin as a form of currency for payments for all of their products. So what this does is it helps bring Bitcoin into the mainstream. It's currently on the periphery. It's currently being viewed as many in the established commerce and business industry as something a bit unusual, something that they don't fully understand, something that a lot of people who are heavily involved in IT might appreciate and understand, but they still want to deal in fiat currencies. The fact that Bitcoin has come out and said we're going to accept it and normalizes Bitcoin as an everyday currency, or helps in the process along with normalizing as an everyday currency. It was only a few months ago we heard that PayPal, the well-known payment system, also announced that they were going to accept Bitcoin as a form of currency, and this just adds to the view that it's going to become in several years down the line, or in the next decade, we can easily see Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies commonly accepted as a method of payment. I think so. I think the Bitcoin mania, I think in terms of the corporate world, is going to kind of increase from here. It was a sizable investment made by Tesla, but I think others will follow suit. Like I previously said, PayPal have already given the cryptocurrency the green light in that they're going to allow their users use payment. We will then probably see more companies enter the fold and come out and go down that same route. And with that, we'll probably see further substantial investments in Bitcoin. So I think this is the beginning of a process whereby more and more companies will accept the cryptocurrency as a payment. And it is worth pointing out that Tesla itself is considered to be a bit out there by some. It's considered to be at the forefront of technology and modernization. So we may not see more traditional companies and very well established companies rushing out to accept Bitcoin or invest in Bitcoin just yet. But I suspect as time goes on, more and more companies will go down that route. To be honest, I think even a valuation of around kind of $45,000 or $50,000 seems quite excessive at the moment, but it's such a new and niche market. These things are exceptionally difficult to price. In relation to trying and putting a price target on something like this, or even any financial asset, it can be extremely tricky, as big banks have learned in the last decade. But I think what's most important about this isn't so much the view that one individual or certain institutions have a certain price target. If that price target is still well beyond the current price, it will get others thinking about it. And if anything, it makes it more likely to become a self-fulfilling prophecy, in that while people start saying Bitcoin could go to $100,000 or $300,000, whatever the figure may be, if it's substantially higher than the current price, it adds to the existing kind of flurry and mania that surrounds the currency, which has already driven it up to these excessive levels so far. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are clearly a very high risk and a very high risk asset. There's a lot of speculation going on at the moment, so the price volatility has been high, and with that comes the risk of large price swings. But what we do seem to be seeing is more and more kind of mainstream and institutional investors becoming less afraid of the cryptocurrency, being lured in by the excessive price moves in it, and then more and more people are kind of softening to the idea of maybe potentially putting a very, very small portion of their overall cash pool into the cryptocurrency, just as a way of gaining exposure to the asset on the odd chance it does continue to have this colossal rally, and if it does, and the odd chance on the slight possibility, it does go on to have an exceptional value. But it is worth always remembering it's a highly volatile and very high risk asset. So we have seen very large swings in this before. Cast your mind back to late 2017, early 2018. So something like that could very easily be seen again. In late 2017, it got up in direction of $20,000. As we know, by the excessive sell-off, it was well below $10,000 within a matter of months after that. It traded kind of in the wilderness, it traded sideways for many years, and then it came under colossal pressure in March last year when it was well below $5,000 on the back of the overall sell-off. We're now close. We're now in the kind of $45,000 up towards $50,000 area. If you see price swings like that, always have to bear in mind it's not unrealistic for this currency to lose 40% of its value, nearly 50% of its value in a matter of days, like we saw in 2017. It didn't go back. It didn't completely collapse because it didn't completely, disappear. It just had a massive move to the downside. And if it's happened once before, there's every reason it can happen again. Obviously, the cost of borrowing is exceptionally cheap at the moment. So in terms of getting access to cash is quite easily available. Some investors have been kind of rotating out of traditional assets that are considered to be safe havens, such as gold, and to redirecting their funds over towards Bitcoin. They've effectively been lured in by the excessive price moves we've seen recently. It's also going to coincide with the fact that gold hit a record high back in August 2020. It's still in its long-term upward trend, but it's well off the highs that were achieved back last year. So some people, particularly newer investors to the markets, are rightly or wrongly dubbing it, digital gold or the new gold. So with that, people are kind of shying away from maybe, say, other assets, perhaps government bonds because the yields are relatively low, or perhaps something like gold because it's lost a bit of its sparkle, and then redirecting their funds towards a new and exciting asset which is moving around the lot, which is Bitcoin.